All right, can we get hair and makeup in here, please? Marcel Gravel is in the house, and when he comes in, we always need the hair and makeup work to make this guy look good.
You're not kidding.
Brother, what the hell is going on?
Not much. What's going on with you? How are you?
Bro, I'm so glad to see you.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I was fashionably late.
Thank you for no, not at all. Thank you for schlepping all the way down from Mo Vegas, man.
Yeah, no problem, dude. No problem.
Brother, last time I had you in here, we had a little boy with us.
Yep.
Walker Fitch.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Going good with him. His Mustang is just about ready to go, from what I understand, and I think we'll be at White Mountain Motorsports Park. May? I think that he'll be there. So yeah,
you kind of mentor him. You sponsor him.
We do a little bit of the driver development and driver coaching stuff with him for sure. I haven't gotten to do as much of it as I want to right now, and thankfully his parents are pretty understanding. Just house stuff, bought a house.
Yeah,
super busy.
Yeah.
So
I've
been out of the loop. But.
Of course, and we have to talk about that. You're always so busy. The sign of a successful man, right there.
Yeah, I guess so. I definitely am. Always seem to be on the go. So I guess better to be on the go than not.
Now, how old is Walker Fitch now?
10. He just turned 10.
What in the hell is a 10-year-old doing behind the wheel of a Ford Mustang?
We're gonna find out.
Can you please explain to me how does this? Who the hell would allow that? What's going on here? What am I missing?
Yeah, I mean, just he really wants to do it. He has it in him at a very young age already. So he's ready to go.
Yeah, but he's 10 years old.
Yeah,
he can't be driving a Mustang.
Hey,
what do they do? Do they like bring the seat way far?
Yeah.
How is this possible?
Yeah. We had to mount the seat really high and really close, and then we built pedal extensions for it. So I mean, he's got probably they're probably a foot long on each pedal, and it's got joints and everything. So he pushes the fake pedal, and it pushes down the real pedal.
Oh my God.
Yep.
So he's what division is he going to be racing?
It's going to be kids division. It's I'm not sure what the actual name of the division is, but it's other kids that are 10 to 15. So he'll be in that over there at White Mountain.
And he's at the bottom of that.
Yeah. He's at the bottom of the age bracket. That's for sure. He won't be there long. At the bottom, he'll get it. He'll pick it right up.
What?
Yeah.
Graduating out of a
go-kart, yeah,
into a Ford Mustang.
Yeah, I know, crazy.
It's like
crazy.
going from preschool to college.
Yeah, jumping right into it. Hey,
damn,
that's how it works nowadays. These kids they're coming up fast. So,
how old were you when you started getting into this?
7. So we got into it at 7. I know, ridiculous.
Was
right?
it a go-kart?
Yep. It was a go-kart, a lot like what Walker has. They've evolved a little bit since. Man, when I was 7, it must have been 2003.
Okay.
Yeah, so everything's evolved a little. They're a little faster, a little bit more to them. But, yep, that's when we got it
Were you
going.
still running go-karts when you were 10?
Yeah, I ran go-karts until I was 13.
And then what happened at that point?
Aged out.
Oh, you aged out.
Yeah,
all right.
so, I mean, we couldn't run it anymore. So then it got into the street stocks, and now here we are.
So who got you your first car?
Mom and Dad, yeah.
What was that?
Wait, car or go-kart?
Car.
Oh, car.
After the go-karts.
I got the car from one of my dad's friends. His name's Dave Manning, family friend. We bought Mustangs from him. He gave us a really good deal on it, and I drummed up some money with a couple of family members and everything like that, and any money that I had, and we put it into it, and we got going.
At just 13 years old?
No, we aged out of the go-karts, so then I didn't really do anything from like 13 to 15.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was kind of not on the sideline because Dad was still racing, so
yeah.
I mean, I was still in the action, just wasn't behind the wheel of anything. And then when we got to 16 is when we got the Mustangs and started going at it.
My God.
Yeah, I know. Makes me feel old talking about it. I turned 26 the other day.
Brother, I saw that. Was it day before yesterday or something like that?
Yeah, a couple days ago, March 23rd, whatever today is. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
happy birthday.
Thank you.
26 years old.
I know.
So, and you just bought a house?
Just bought a house. Yep, me and Megan bought a house.
Bro.
We're,
yes.
we're in the final. Dealing with banks is a PIA.
Pain in the ass?
So we've been it's been a little bit slow going. I caused one of the issues myself, so
yeah.
I guess I'll take a little responsibility. But yeah, we're finalizing it right now. It's going to be ours here pretty shortly. So we're there already. My grandparents own the house,
yeah,
and we're buying it from them. and they built a new house, and they just got back from Florida
Yeah.
a couple of days ago. So we're getting ready to wrap it all up. So yeah,
You're going to be signing a lot of paperwork.
you ain't kidding. Yeah, I probably have never signed that many autographs in my life.
Where's the house?
It's in Wolcott, Vermont.
In Wolcott. Beautiful.
It's close to Hardwick.
Yeah.
It's like a skip down the road from like Wolcott Elementary School and stuff like that.
Wow.
So, yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it's probably 55 minutes from here.
So I see the pictures on Facebook of you and Megan, and we got the dog.
Yeah.
Now, will there be a child at some point?
Oh my. Yeah, I think there probably will be, because I know how much fun I had racing with my dad, so I can only imagine how cool it would be for me to do it, you know. So I'm sure someday down the road there's going to be a little miniature pizza equipment machine that
Yes.
that my kid will be driving. At least I hope so.
Yes. You should see Lily. She's 7 years old. She's ripping around on this little 50cc dirt bike. And
Sweet.
Just
You hooked it up.
Oh, God. Little Honda CRF 50.
Nice.
Ripping.
I
So hard.
never went on dirt bikes or anything like that. I was a little gun shy when I was younger, so I never did any of that sort of stuff.
But safe to say that if there is a mini gravel running around,
Yep.
that there will be a carburetor involved in some capacity.
I would think so. Yeah.
Whether it's a dirt bike, four-wheeler, go-kart, something.
Yeah. Right. I hope it's racing. I've always thought about that, and just the relationship that I have with my dad. You know, obviously I would have a good relationship with him anyways, but through the racing and everything, we're all around each other all the time.
Sure.
And I think it'd be cool too. I know he'll be involved, you know, whenever a little gravel does come along.
Yes.
So it'll be cool to do that with him. I told Megan the other day, I thought about how wild it'll be when that, you know, crew rolls into the racetrack for that poor kid's first race. We'll probably be scaring the heck out of everybody else there who will be way too involved.
But there will be your DNA involved here. So I mean, there's going to be,
Yeah, and if boy, girl, indifferent,
Doesn't
whatever
matter.
it is,
Doesn't matter.
if it has a little bit of its mom in it, it's going to be fiery too. So we'll have the competitive.
God. Let's throw some love at Pizza Equipment. What are your
Yeah, for sure. I hope
sponsors?
they're tuning in. Pizza Equipment Sales and Rentals. Jason, everybody in the office today. I hope I'm on the big screen right now. If I'm not, I know I will be. Just humongous. You know, I worked my whole life looking for, and I mean, we kind of talked about it, me and you before.
Yeah.
Looking for a partner like this,
Yes.
and it finally came along for me. You know, and I've been working really hard to try to keep them happy. Thankfully, they're pretty understanding of all the life stuff going on right now. So
Yes.
I've been, you know, racing has not been on the back burner, but it's not been getting as much attention as it normally does. But
Yes.
we're getting ready to rev it up here in full swing pretty soon. So.
But you love them. They love you. They're Morrisville. I mean, you're Morrisville.
Yeah.
And you'll do anything for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I always try to think of stuff I can do, you know, to take it to the next level for them and make sure that they're enjoying the partnership as much as I am. And thankfully, I think they are, and they're a great group of people, everybody there.
You had a good start to the year, to last season.
Mm-hmm.
Ran third in the ACT 150.
Yep.
Then what happened?
Yeah, the ACT 150 was up and down. We practiced Saturday. We were pretty good, and then at the end of practice, we managed to dial ourselves right out of it. And when the race started, we didn't feel super confident about the car. Honestly, I think we pitted on like lap 17, and we pit again on like lap 23, and we restarted 25th. And we ended up, whatever we did, it worked. We ended up driving all the way back up through there to third, and we just never could get a handle on it after the first race. We would go and we would have, you know, spurts of excellence where we'd be really fast, you know, for 10, 15 laps or something like that, and we would think we had it, and then we missing the balance most of the year. And just some guys weren't, you know, there were guys that were really, really rolling when we were kind of struggling to get our footing. So
Sure.
Kind of put us in a hole that we didn't love to be in, but we figured it out, thankfully.
So what happened? What made you knocking on Scott Coburn's door and saying, "Dude, I need to borrow your car"? What happened?
Yeah, so that was a pretty wild story, actually. Like, we started the night and we went out in my car and went out for practice and probably ran like, I don't know, 10 or 15 practice laps, and coming off a turn 2, broke something in the right front suspension, broke it fast.
You knew?
Yeah, I knew because it couldn't turn or anything.
Okay.
So, I mean,
that's one way to know.
Yeah, we're at full speed, and we hit the wall, and it was probably the hardest hit I've ever had. I mean, we hit it a ton, and just it destroyed the car. I mean, it bent the front clip, it caved the headers into the motor, like
Done.
bent the right side rail. It bent everything. And so I got towed back in or whatever, and I knew we were done, and my dad, he's always thinking. So they took me to the ambulance, and on my way to the ambulance, Mashad came and got me and was like, hey, just like for insurance purposes, in case, you wake up and something's wrong, you just need to go. So on my way to the ambulance, I met my dad, and he was like, I'm going to talk to Scott Coburn, so let me, obviously go do what you got to do, but let me know what's going on.
Your freaking dad's is just a sicko.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting carted off in the ambulance, and he's already thinking, what car are we going to run?
No, that's his job, So literally, like, kind of in passing. So I went to the ambulance, and I got in the ambulance, and the woman's like, are you all right, and everything like that. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm fine. I'm very mad, but like, I'll be all right. And she's like, so what are you going to do now? And I was like, I think my dad's over there striking up a deal for me to drive that 72 car. I said, so as soon as you let me out of this ambulance, I gotta go get in that. And she looked at me and she was like, all right, sign here. And she hands me the waiver, and I was like, all right, see ya. And I got out of the ambulance, and literally we ran down to Scott's car, and I took it out for the next practice. So, but yeah, and I mean, I don't think he'll see this, but if he did, They totally saved our season, him and his girlfriend, Nicole. I mean, we really didn't have to do much talking to him, Like, there was no, hey, if this happens, you owe me this, Like,
wow.
All he was pretty much looking for was maybe a little bit of help with the car from us, and I jumped right in, and we went out for practice. Yeah, what was crazy about it, too, is we started on the pole for the heat race, and I had ran like 5 laps in his car in practice, and I couldn't see because he's a bigger guy than I am. So literally for the heat race, we put sweatshirts underneath me. We started on the pole. We won the heat race in Scott's car, and then we started second in the feature, and we passed Phil on the outside for the lead, and we led probably like 40 laps of it in Scott's car. And we ended up finishing second on double points night with Coburn's car. So.
With sweatshirts under your ass.
Yeah, 4 of them. Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and Coburn, he's a husky guy, so like his seat was too big, so we like tucked him on the sides too. I told my dad, and I told Scott, I said, I think if this would have been my race car, I think we could have won this race, but I was already doing more with it than I thought we would do, with the car that I've never driven before. Wow. So I wasn't going to get overzealous and end up, wrecking the thing. We kind of were just cool that we were running where we were running. So it was a pretty wild experience, and none of it would have been possible without, Scott and Nicole. And now we've actually kind of formed a little alliance with them, and we both have Port City race cars, and we kind of work together, to try to keep each other better. We're always trying different adjustments, and our cars are pretty much the same, so anything that works on one normally will work on the other, and it ended up being a pretty good relationship, I hope, for both.
Was there a prior relationship with Coburn that dates back?
No, I mean, Scott has raced with my dad probably since the early Tiger days, and the only, I don't want to say reason or relationship that we had with him was like a couple weeks before that. We had just talked to him, just in line or something like that, getting ready to go in the pits or whatever, and Dad was just kind of casually talking to him about stuff, and I think that's the only reason that my dad thought to ask him was just because the conversation was kind of fresh in, Dad's head, and he thought that Scott was our best bet. So
wow. Yeah,
no, so really no prior relationship with him, and now we have I would say a pretty good relationship with him. He went to Maine, Port City Race Cars in Maine, and picked up a bunch of stuff for us, and because we were doing whatever, we had too much going on, and Dad asked him, and he went up and picked it up for us and all that sort of stuff. So I would say we got a pretty good relationship.
Clearly he believes in you.
Yeah, definitely. No, he came up to me and said, like he believed in what I was doing starting second with his race car, but I think he was a little nervous, and I was having to play it off to him like I wasn't nervous, but I was standing there. I was very nervous. I couldn't believe that we were doing it either, but no, it was, I mean, a true testament to him. I think that he caught a lot of flack for it on that night, which I just find ridiculous because, I mean, these race cars cost $40,000, $50,000, and I mean, he owed nothing to me. Like, I don't know the last time I talked to Scott Coburn, and all of a sudden he's taking his fire suit off and and jacking the car up while I'm buckling into it. So definitely a testament to him and just the kind of guy that he is.
Relationships with racing either seem to take a right or a left.
Yeah.
And they go south or they go north.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, I think this one is going to be one that is for a long time. And no, Scott's a very nice guy, and his dad helps him out on his car, so they kind of have this same sort of thing going for them that me and my dad do. So I think we have a lot more in common than maybe we thought. And no, it's been nothing but good for us and hopefully good for him.
So last couple of races of the season, you were driving what?
Yeah, so last year, obviously, we wrecked the car, and Jason, the owner of Pete's Equipment, he's very involved in our racing, and he kind of asked us, what we were thinking, what would help or whatever, and we kind of pitched it to him that we thought maybe one of these Port City race cars would help take us to the next level, and he put some thought into it, and we had him up to the shop one night, and we were setting up our other car to go racing, and we're just like, hey, they have one, and it's pretty much ready to go. And he was just standing there in the shop, and he just kind of looked at us and was like, all right, let's do it. And he pulled the trigger, and Jason paid for a good majority of that race car through Pete's Equipment.
Really?
And nothing that we had agreed to prior. This was all just, stuff that he wanted to do. We had agreed to what we'd agreed to for the season, and he just went above and beyond, which is just what he does. So, he sent one of his guys to North Carolina to pick it up, and they picked it up for us and dropped it off at the house, and he asked us whatever we needed, and we'd get it done. So we built the car in a month while we were racing. We got it as a bare chassis with tin in it from Port City, and then we built it while we were still racing. And, just, again, I never, that one never really fully sank in until, like, we went and tested it that day, and I was like, this is insane. Like, this is a brand new race car. Like, the only thing on the race car that was used was the motor, and everything else was new. And, I mean, I paid for some stuff. I told him what I could spend, and Jason just was like, hey, if that's what we need to, go win races, that's what we're going to go get. So, it really does blow my mind, to think of the relationship and, the things that he's done for me. And I don't think he'll ever know, how much I appreciate it, but it's pretty ridiculous. He's a crazy man, but I'm super appreciative.
And obviously very passionate about what you're doing.
Right. Yeah. He doesn't, and I mean, he told me at, that one of the first meetings, he doesn't, for lack of a better term, he doesn't half-ass anything. If he was going to do it, he was going to do it. And I don't know how many people worked at Pete's Equipment when he took it over, but all I know is that it's just grown and grown and grown, because if he puts his mind to something, he's number one, he's super smart, and number two, he's driven, and I think him and my dad share that same kind of driven trait, and he's just made Pete's Equipment bigger and bigger. I think he employs like 10 people now, like 9 or 10 people full time, and they sell tractors like they're going out of style, and he just got recognized at Coyote is the tractor brand that they mainly sell.
Sure.
And he went to a dealer meeting or something like that, and he was like one of the top dealers in, all of the places that sell Coyote tractors.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, so I mean, he is he's very, very passionate about the racing, and it just kind of happened, I think, through seeing my passion for it, Dad's passion for it, and every time he just gets more and more involved in it. Every time I talk to him, he wants to do something else, or he's got an idea, or he wants to know what we're doing. Normally he comes up to the shop most Wednesday nights when we're setting the car up and loading the trailer up. And no, it's just, it's a relationship I never thought I would have. It's one that I always hoped I would have, but you never think that you're really going to achieve something like that.
Sure.
And, it's crazy. I tell him that all the time. Whenever he steps up and does something else, I'm like, man, you're just nuts. But, I think it's a testament to, what me and my family have built and what we're doing, and him believing in us, and it's pretty cool. So we need to go up there this summer and kick some ass, because that's what he's looking for.
So is this is obviously the car you're going to be running this season?
Yep.
So what did you do this past winter? Just go into the shop and just stand there and look at it?
Well, so we
and talk to it and make love to it and wipe it down with a diaper. And
so that's the crazy part about it all is obviously it's a brand new car. You know,
Right.
it has 3 races on it or whatever. Well, at the Melt Bowl, it got pretty tore up, like the body wise and stuff. So we got a reskin kit for it. So we're gonna put a new body on it. Started doing that last weekend because, like I said, I mean, we've been working on my house nonstop. So, and Jason he wanted to get a motor in my other car because we took the motor from the crash car and put it in the Port City car. So now we bought a motor. Jason bought a motor for the Port City car. So the motor that's in it now is going to go back into the my white car that we call T-Boy. And me and my dad bought the front clip and everything for it. So we're going to rebuild T-Boy, and we're going to have 2 of them complete, ready to go, that are pretty much twins, beside the roll cage around me is a little different. But other than that, they're going to be ready to go. We're going to be locked in when we get there. So we've been busy with house stuff, and now the next month and a half, it's going to be pretty wild for us getting ready for the year, but we'll be ready.
Yeah. When's the first? It's coming up.
What is it, May 1st? Or, right? Yeah, something like that. So the Port City car, the new car, that could be, in a weekend, we could have a body on it, and it could be sitting there waiting to be vinyled, you know. So that one will go pretty quick. Getting T-Boy back together, we got some stuff that we got to buy, and that'll not hold the process up any, you know, but now, especially with me with a house and everything like that, you know, we're going to be a little bit more tactical about the stuff we're spending money on. And,
sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so.
That's a whole new...
Yeah, whole new game for me, but it'll be done. They'll both be, I think the plan right now is for both of them to be at opening day, and we'll see what one's faster, and whatever one's faster, that's the one that we're going to race. Jason doesn't care if it's the new car or the old car. He just wants to go fast.
Yeah. No, what's the relationship like with your girl?
With Meg?
Yeah.
Oh, man. She has been real busy with this house stuff. It's good, obviously. You know, here we are with a house. We got a dog, little fur baby or whatever.
Yeah.
And no, it's really good.
Here's the reason why I ask. Because when the hot water heater shits the bed, and you're saying yes, but we need some new skin on the car here.
Yeah,
we got to prioritize here. You know,
cold showers. That's the only answer. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Go shower at Nate and Laura's house. I'll shower here. Okay.
Oh my God.
No, I mean, thankfully she came from a racing family, you know, and that's why when it comes to this,
God.
Yeah, when it comes to the sponsorship stuff, I work really hard at it because that's what we race off of.
Yeah.
You know, I very seldomly have to spend my own money to go to the racetrack,
right?
Because I put a ton of time into this marketing.
Sure.
And
she
has a background in marketing, so she's helped me fine tune that,
right? And
just made me better at it. I was kind of just, you know, I'd watch what some people would do, and I kind of taught myself how I thought I needed to go about it. So, no, she's very involved, and thankfully with the house and with Jetson and everything like that, which is my dog's name, she's pretty busy now too. So when I go work on a race car, it's not normally an issue because, like I told her, I had the race car before I had you. Ooh. I'm gonna keep the race car.
Ouch!
And she said, I know. She handles it really good. She's very supportive about it all.
And a sense of humor.
She wouldn't survive around any person in my family if she didn't have a sense of humor.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
No, she's good.
Wow. Now, last I knew, you were also doing some vinyl work, some graphics and stuff.
Yeah.
How's that?
I'm more selective now.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know, dealing with the public is a pain in the rear. So
can be.
So I pretty much, I don't want to say pick and choose, you know, but I kind of do. Like, I do a couple of cars, and for my friends, like Daryl Morin's car, I do it every year, and I do his, and maybe if the right, you know, street stock guy or Tiger guy came along and they needed to break on the vinyl or something like that,
right.
I don't mind helping them out. But I used to do, you know, 10 or 12 cars a year, and I'm not about it anymore.
Right.
It takes a lot of time to do that stuff, and especially with how many people I have involved with my racing now, I have to make sure I'm, you know, focused on my stuff and at the shop, not, you know, vinyl in somebody else's race car or anything like that. So I do a couple here and there, and I do a couple projects for some, you know, family friends if they need a sign or if they have, you know, maybe a party and they want a banner or whatever. But I've mellowed it out quite a bit just because just so much other stuff going on. So
Now, one of the things going on is that you're thinking about starting a podcast.
yeah. We're going to start one. I think it's going to be called Behind the Visor is going to be the name of it.
Come on.
Yep.
Serious?
Yeah, it's going to be so Nick Mumley, he's a buddy of mine, and he has just a strictly a racing podcast that he does called The Inside Groove, and he wants to do like a branch off from that, so he's going to like produce it and everything like that, and he just pretty much needs us to talk. So me, Matt Smith, Taylor Hoare, and we're trying to get a Tiger guy locked in right now for it. And we're going to talk probably every couple of weeks just about, what's going on Thunder Road, White Mountain, the tour, what's going on with our race and stuff like that. So,
Fantastic, dude.
It's going to be pretty cool. I'm very excited for it. I'm very excited.
Now, where will the studio be?
Well, so I think it's going to be, because we all kind of don't live close to each other,
Yeah.
like none of us. So I think we're going to do it on Zoom
Yeah.
or something like that, and Nick's just going to put the audio together.
Yeah.
I don't know how any of that works. So he's going to do all the, I don't want to say hard work, but kind of. I mean, we're going to kind of just sit there and talk, and he'll edit it.
But that's what he needs, though.
Right, that's
content.
what he's looking for. So yeah, it's going to be very cool. I've always wanted to do one. I just never knew what I'd do it about. I always figured it'd be racing, but like I didn't want it to be just myself, and I didn't know who I'd have do it with me. And Matt is obviously a good friend of mine. Taylor obviously is a well-known, family for racing with her dad Brian and everything like that. And she's a very likable kid, so we thought she would be a good fit for it.
Yeah.
And we got a couple lines out to some Tiger guys right now to try to have somebody from each division. And obviously me and Matt are both from late model, but see how it goes. So we're waiting to hear back, and then we're going to announce it to the world or whatever. I guess we just kind of did that right here. But
we just did.
So yeah, it's gonna be very cool.
Will you let me know?
Oh yeah, of course I will.
Please do.
Yeah.
Behind the Visor.
I think that's what we went with. Is it's gonna say Behind the Visor is gonna be the name of it.
So
yeah.
this isn't a podcast you're thinking about. This is one that's going to take flight.
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna. We all bought. We have a group chat, and we all bought the same kind of microphone, and we all got one of these fancy, not this fancy, because I mean, aired out, they do it big here, but we got some of the smaller scale, stuff, and we're just gonna have a good time with it. Just a couple of racers sitting around.
It doesn't matter what kind of the stuff you have.
BS, yeah.
What matters is what goes into the mic and
The
how much fun you
content.
have. Yeah,
Right, yeah.
Content's king, man.
Exactly. No, we're really excited for it, and I talked to Matt about it the other day, and he's looking forward to
I
it.
really
We're
enjoyed
ready to
having
go.
him on the show, by the way.
Matt Smith?
Yeah, he was here.
Yeah. No, Matt's a
Hopefully
good
he'll
friend
come
of
back
mine.
too.
Oh, I bet he will.
Yeah.
We'll blow him up. I'll blow him up.
He's a rally nut.
Matt, yeah, he is a freak behind the wheel of anything. Like he's not scared.
Yeah.
Like when I drive like my daily driver or whatever, I'm not scared. But Matt will. He has a Subaru, and
Yeah.
he drives it like he hates it, and just
Awesome.
no fear, and he has wicked car control.
Yeah.
Like I think that's what makes him a pretty good race car driver.
I think
the car
I think
control
you
side.
told me that you were with him on a back logging road
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
yes.
And you pretty much almost soiled yourself.
He pretty much scared the shit out of me. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, right. And one time, and we talk about this all the time. There was one time we're on the racetrack, and he was in the outside groove, and I think he was stuck behind somebody, and so he was just looking for a place to go. And obviously, I mean, he's still my friend out there, but my job is to beat him, And he tried to come down in front of me, and it was close, but I didn't give it to him, and I hit him hard, and I was not worried about him saving it, I was like, he's going to save that. Like, he's not coming in front of me, but he's going to save that and be just fine. I mean, he was way sideways, and I was like, please save it. Like in my mind, I'm like having some faith in my friend right here. And sure enough, he saved it.
He
and
did.
Afterwards, I was like, I had faith in you. And he's like, yeah, I'm glad you did. But no, he's a really good dude, and his time's coming up there, for his first win. So
Wow.
I hope he gets it this year. I mean, I hope I beat him a couple times first, but then I hope he gets it.
He was telling me he got me in on the Vermont Sim Racer.
Oh yeah?
Have you been?
No, I have not. I have the sim stuff at my house, so like I normally don't have to go. there. I've seen pictures of it. It looks pretty like they sponsor Cooper, I think, Cooper Bouchard.
Yes.
And I've seen pictures from Cooper going there with his spotter, Zach, and stuff like that. I've never been to it, but I have seen it. It looks like something that would be cool if you were trying to get like a real authentic racing, experience or whatever.
It is really cool.
Yeah, you've been?
Yes.
Are you any good?
I went.
Okay.
But I didn't have my hands on the wheel. I sat on the couch.
Oh, okay.
And drank alcohol.
I understand.
I didn't actually sit and no.
Yeah. Right. I hear you.
Sherilyn did.
Okay.
She was there doing some rally stuff.
Gotcha.
And loved it.
Yeah, because now that Martel kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Connor.
He raced with us.
Connor Martel.
Connor. Yeah.
Yep. He was up there.
The rally kid, right?
Yeah. He's badass.
Yeah. Like he does that for a living.
For a living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was there, and people were racing against him. And,
yeah. They going against him.
Yeah. It was a competition night where
Right.
they were trying to see who could beat. Someone beat him, I think.
Really?
Yeah. I can't remember who it was, but
he raced with us 7 or 8 times last year, I think, at Thunder Road.
Yeah.
Pretty wild for him, I bet. Going from what he does to a late model.
You're the first. You're the first driver that we've got on this spring. ACT's right down the road now.
I know. I saw that.
Right here.
I saw the sign when I parked. Here. I was driving by. I'm like, is that not the ACT? I knew they were moving.
Yeah.
But I had forgotten
right there.
where it was.
You ought to stop in and say hi.
Oh man, stop.
You're right
be
here,
like,
dude.
Mashad, what's up?
Right there.
You think he just let me in his office?
Absolutely.
I think if I walk
150
in,
yards
will.
from here. 150 yards from here.
No, I saw that down there. Good for them.
Yeah.
Closer to the racetrack.
And any changes coming to the track that you know about?
I don't think so. Nothing.
Okay. I saw the picture they had on there of all the snow melting.
Yeah. Nothing that I'm aware of. I mean, they've done a lot of stuff. I don't know what was next. I had heard about them putting some kind of buildings or something in turn 3, but I don't know if anything ever came of it.
Yeah.
You know how, rumors get or whatever, but no, I haven't heard of anything new for this coming season. So I'll be curious to see if maybe they kept something secret from us.
Well, Becky's saying, please have more drivers. And I know Raylene's got a few lined up. We've got our driver board over here that's just over in the corner. We got the 86 on there.
Yeah.
But we're looking for – I got a pen in my hand, brother.
Stephen Donahue?
Yep.
Nice.
Stephen Donahue tomorrow?
There you go. He came on one other time.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
That guy's got a couple screws loose.
Steven?
Yeah.
He's not afraid of it. That's for sure. He is. He's
a
lot
little,
like his dad. Like they're both wicked. Like they can drive a race car sideways for like 15 laps and still be going forward.
Right.
Like I remember following Steven one time last year, and we were both in the outside and we were going nowhere. Like we were going nowhere, and we must have fell back to 12th or 13th, and I think we ended up getting wrecked.
Yeah.
And I asked them at the end. I said, "Who won?" And they were like, "Steven." I'm like,
wow.
Just now? It's like, because we couldn't, it didn't seem like we could get out of our own way for the first half of the race, and somehow he made it back up through there. So, very talented kid, but he definitely got some screws loose. He's always on the chip. He never, I would say that to him, but he's not afraid of anything.
No.
Like, I watched him at Loudon. I was right behind him when he hit the wall at Loudon, and I was like, he doesn't care, he cares. He doesn't want to wreck, but
sure.
He didn't think 2 times about hitting that wall, I bet, because he's just that's how he lives it.
John, same way.
I just saw John at Nick Sweet's shop, and John, definitely the same.
Now, what's the deal with Nick Sweet? Why can't we get him on the podcast? What the hell's going on here?
He's a busy man. I was just talking to him, and I said, "So what have you been up to?" He's like, "Oh, not much. Just built the Tiger car." And I'm like, "The whole thing?" And he's like, "Yeah." It's like, how long did it take? Took him like 5 weeks to do or something like that. I'm like, that's not a lot of time, Nick. That's like a little over a month.
Right.
He's a busy guy. There's like 4 or 5 cars up there right now in his shop.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, at NES or whatever. Craziness. Yeah, John just walked in. When I was walking out, I was backing out, and John was walking in. So, yep.
Who else? Matt, I'd love to have back, but I got
Smith.
A pen in the hand, brother. You tell me.
Matt Smith, he'd be good. I know Bouchard would come back on. He seemed like he was good.
Yeah.
I would say my friend Daryl, but he's pretty, I don't want to say shy, but kind of. He's kind of shy when it comes to the microphone thing.
Well, shit.
I'm trying to think of who up there would be good. Tyler Cahoon, he'd be good. Tyler's a really good guy.
Corliss?
Jason, he'd probably do it. He's from right around here, I think.
Yeah.
Barry guy,
Who
East
else do
Barry.
we have, Raylene?
We have Jason in the works. We have Jason Corliss.
Yeah, I mean, and he has a key to Thunder Road.
And maybe he's going to bring his dad.
All right.
Double Donahues.
Oh, my God. 2 Donahues in the same building?
I'm trying.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
You better bring your A game for that one.
What time?
Tomorrow is noon.
Oh, my God.
I had a run-in with his dad one time.
With John?
Yeah.
What was that about?
It was good for me.
It was.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what happened, but it somehow he ended up in the wall. He hit the wall, and he's one of those guys, that I've been watching for a long time, and you just have a respect for him, And I remember him coming. I remember pulling in the pits, and he was coming over. I was like, oh no, I knew he was probably mad, and it did help me because he looked at me and he was like, I know that you know better, So like, it was a kind of a gut punch for me because I felt like a veteran guy had faith in me already, and I kind of screwed it up. And so it was kind of an eye-opening thing for me. I don't want to say that I didn't agree with, what happened. Like I didn't feel like it was either one of our whole faults, but I mean, you're a race car driver, you normally don't. But yeah, that one, it stuck with me for a while just because I wondered how many other guys, already had respect for me that I didn't really think would, and especially with him being an older school guy. And that was the first thing he said to me. He was like, you know better, you know what I mean? And I took that one, stuck with me for a minute because he was, he was right. I mean, I did know better. But it's not like I'm not really close with any of them, but you just see them at the racetrack and you know all the stuff that they've done. So I did. That one did sit with me for a little while.
Wow.
I thought about it. So, but I mean, I think it's all right now. I'm sure he let it go. It was 2016. So.
Do drivers ever let it go?
I don't know. I think probably because I had a run-in with Daryl Moore in my rookie year where I was just kind of driving, I don't want to say over my head, but I mean, it was my first late model race. It was a tour race, and we were fast.
Yeah.
And I just didn't have enough experience, and me and him got into a little bit. I crashed. He didn't crash. And for the longest time, I held that against him. And just because I was trying to convince myself it wasn't me,
I think you've spoken about this.
And now Daryl's like one of my best friends at the racetrack, So, I mean, I think you can let stuff go. I mean, you can't hang on to it forever. Are there things at the racetrack that I haven't let go of? Probably. And there's things that I probably won't let go of, but not all of it, Daryl and me, we got over. I mean, I don't think he got over it. I don't think he was mad at me for any reason.
Yeah.
But I let it affect me and his relationship for like a couple of years, before finally I was like, this dude's not all bad.
Wow.
And then now we park next to each other like every week up there. So
wow.
I think racers do let it go. Eventually you got to. But there are some guys that hang on to it for life, I think.
Right. Yeah, because so much of it when you're behind the wheel is also in your head and what you're saying in your mind when you're supposed to be focused on what you're doing can distract you.
Yeah, no, and I mean you can't afford distractions out there,
there's no time for it.
No time for it. It's tight racetrack, everything happens so fast. And normally if you let it stay in your head, and pester around in there, it makes you worse. Like I got into it with a guy last year and I felt like he had done me dirty, and so I did him dirty back, and then he took it a little farther, and it just pissed me off for like 10 laps, but I could feel myself going slower because I wanted to catch him so bad, because I was like,
really?
Yeah, because you start overdriving, because you're like, you're just mad, because you already felt like you got done dirty, you handled it, like not retaliation, but letting them know like, hey, it's not going to be tolerated.
Right.
And then they do it again. And so you're like, oof. So yeah, I mean, I spent like 10 laps driving way over my head trying to catch up to him, and you go slower. I didn't catch up to him.
This is kind of like Lily and I when we play got you last or touch you last.
Yeah.
It's always that person that wants that last.
Yeah, I wanted
swing.
the last one that day, but I didn't get it. He got it. So we'll I don't know if I've let it go yet or not. I remembered it.
Raylene.
We're talking about it on the podcast.
Yeah. When is Jason Corliss coming on? Do you know? Jason Corliss?
We haven't set a rock time.
All right, we're working on him though.
Well,
We're working on him.
if you want to talk to a guy about Thunder Road, that's the guy to.
Yeah.
That dude.
Yeah.
Man, we are all tired of
What a-
chasing him.
What a season last year.
What a like 3-year run. I mean,
My God.
3 years in a row, king of the road.
Yeah.
God.
We're gonna try. We'll try to get him on.
Well, he'd be a great one to have.
Yeah.
Very likable guy, easy to talk to guy, and obviously extremely talented.
What's this Phil Scott driver like? What's
Phil?
he like? Yeah, what's he like?
Phil Scott. Okay, so Phil Scott driver, Phil Scott governor, or Phil Scott person, different kind of guy. Like racing Phil Scott, hard to race with. Like,
Really?
Not in a bad way, but he's just, he's been doing it for 30 years, and it's guys like him, and I mean, this guy doesn't race anymore, but Dave Whitcomb, all these guys that have been around for a long time and went through a lot of different generations of racing, and some of them held on to one of them and didn't, change generations, So like Phil is a hard guy to pass on the racetrack because he's always on the wheel, like he is very aggressive and he races you really hard, and there's some guys, like I don't give up, but if a guy catches me and puts it on my quarter in a lap and puts it on my door in a half a lap, he's going by me. You know what I mean? Like I probably don't need to run into his door and, slow him up because I'm going the wrong way, So with Phil, he's always trying to get everything out of it. So he is extremely hard to pass. But off the racetrack, and I mean on the racetrack, he's fine too. It's not, I don't have a problem with him, Off the racetrack, one of the coolest people, that you can talk to. And like he'll talk to you like he's not the governor of the state, like
Yeah.
I try to sit next to him in the driver's meeting just because I'm so curious about like his job,
Yeah.
and I'll ask him anything and he'll answer it. I'm not afraid to talk to him. I enjoy talking to him.
Yeah.
And sitting next to him is good because he won't talk to you during the meeting, so then nobody gets in trouble, because he's from the era of like Tom Curley, if you talk you might get screamed at meetings.
Yes. Right.
So I sit next to Phil and Tyler Cahoon because they both know, like, listen, we're before the meeting or whatever, you chat a little. Once Chris starts talking, no talking. So I try to sit with them, and I like picking his brain, and just talking to him about nonsense. I ask him about the most random stuff because I'm sure he probably gets sick of talking about the political stuff.
Oh, of course.
So I try to not involve it, in that. Or during COVID, I'd ask him questions about, how much it changed his day or like what his day was like and all the stuff he goes through. And very, very cool guy to talk to.
I had him on the podcast and
Oh, really?
asked him about racing. Yeah. And once we dropped the R word, his shoulders dropped down.
Yeah.
His eyes were more relaxed.
Yeah. Right.
It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
He said something to me last year too that I put a lot of thought into. We were out there for driver introductions or whatever, and I mean, you got to think he's probably done driver introductions at Thunder Road 500 times,
right?
And like you hear a lot of guys complaining about doing it and stuff like that. And I think it's cool. And Phil's standing there, like most wins. He's got the most wins. I mean, champion guy, governor of the state of Vermont. Like he's got enough stuff going on, and we're standing there, and he's like, it never gets old. He told me, he's like, and when it does, I shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
So I thought about that, and I was like, that's a pretty good point. Like if I ever come out here and I'm like, man, I'm tired of listening to Aaron Maynard introduce this whole field every Thursday, or
right.
Tired of, and you can, like you said, you can see it on his face. Like we're standing out there, and he's enjoying being there,
right?
Because I'm sure
Genuinely.
It's just crazy for him to just put it all aside and just come to the racetrack. So I thought about that a lot. I was like, I need to start enjoying this place when I'm here more, or not taking myself too seriously.
I heard you just mention Curly, and I know I've asked you this in the past. Did you ever have any run-ins with Curly? Any bad memories?
Yeah, Tom Curley was a role model. I think if you were, my age at the time, and it comes back to like Steven Donahue, guys whose dads raced when Tom Curley was fully healthy, badass Irish guy,
Temper.
like that you were scared of.
Yeah.
But respected like to no end. So I mean, he took me for a ride one time when I don't know how old I was probably 5. They had a 2-seater Bush North car there, and I couldn't ride in it, like, due to whatever, with the actual Bush North guy driving it. I don't remember whose car it was or anything. And he took me out there, by himself. Like, he drove the Bush North car, and I sat in the passenger seat. And he did that just specially for me. And I can still picture it. I bet I was 5 or 6 years old, but he had a good relationship with my parents, and he was just a guy that I already respected to no end, because he's Tom Curley and everything that he's done for racing and everything like that. And that one was one that stuck with me for a long time. And then I did have a negative run-in with him one time, and, he handled his business. It was his racetrack. It's his sandbox. I'm just playing in it. And he let me know that, even though I already knew it, but I was going through weird phase in my life anyway, so I was kind of a shithead. And I needed somebody like Tom Curley to wake me up, because I respected him just like, he was my own grandfather or something, just because he was always around. He always demanded the respect from you, and if you didn't give it to him, it wasn't going to be great for you. So I had a tremendous amount of respect for the guy. And it wasn't the same, the first time we went back, And Chris and Pat, they've obviously done a fantastic job, and I think that they've, lived it out. And Tom Curley would probably be pretty amazed with where it has, came to. But he was just such a special guy to a lot of us younger guys. And, once he was gone, it makes me not feel bad, I guess, but some of these young guys that are coming up through right now that will never experience, Tom Curley and what it was like, and it's just, you can't recreate it. He was a very authentic guy, like, taking cars to the driver's meeting, banging them together. You might throw one, like, he was just a cool guy, but like, he demanded your respect, and he had mine. So it was tragic, and sad when he was gone, but I mean, we all knew it was coming for a long time, and, we just had to appreciate him while we had him. So
he was getting sick toward the end of my radio career.
Yeah.
But man, I would have just loved to have him sitting here on a podcast where there's no censorship,
right,
where we could just let him go.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I always, and I don't think I probably ever said it to anybody, but I mean, we're talking about Tom Curley. I just remember thinking I knew him as a guy, like first name basis, like a lot of us are, like if you saw him somewhere, he would ask you, how you were doing, and he would have cared. And I remember when he died, like I was so sad, because obviously, you lost Tom Curley, a guy that you respected so much and everything. But I was moving up I had ran 1 year in the late model, I think, when he died, and we didn't win. And I just remember thinking, I was like, Tom Curley is not going to get to see me do what I've been, preparing to do at his racetrack for all this time. I've been running here since I was 7 years old, and you want to be a late model winner, because that's the top tier up there. And that was, obviously the first thought was, shit, Tom Curley died. Like, that's crazy. But then, like, the next thought was, he's not going to be there, when I finally do win. And that really bothered me, because I seeked his approval, and I wasn't going to get it. So that really sucked.
Does that still bother you?
Yeah, I think so. I always, I saw a video of, and talking about Jason Corliss, like Jason won his, first late model race or whatever at Thunder Road, and a guy a lot like myself as far as coming up through, and Tom went down, and you grabbed him on the shoulder, and I can only imagine what he said to him, how proud of him he was and everything like that. And that's something that I wanted, I wanted a guy that was extremely, like, he was an icon to my life,
Sure.
And he wasn't going to be there when that day came for me. And it was super sad, and I finally won 2018. Right? Yeah. I don't remember what year he died. It had to have been the year before, I think.
It was just before that, I think.
Yeah. And I remember I was like, I'm not going to get that moment that I had kind of been working my whole life to get.
Yeah.
Like, he would have been down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tom Curley would have came down there. it wouldn't have mattered if he had to bring an oxygen tank with him and be driven. I would like
Sure.
to believe that when I won that race, he would have been there, to tell me that it was crazy, where we had started. And it was super disappointing, that he wasn't there. And, I mean, obviously, you got to go on with it, He's not going to be there, so we had to enjoy it. But I do, and like I said, I don't think I ever told anybody that, but it did bother me, like that he wasn't there, because he's always been there.
We need more people in the world like Tom who are not afraid to say exactly what it is that's of how they feel.
Yeah, right. For sure.
I don't know how well he would be doing with the current culture. Everything is, you got to be so careful with what you say.
Oh yeah. It's cool too, and I mean, because obviously Chris Michaud raced under him for so long, and you'll be at the drivers' meeting, and like Chris Michaud will say something, and you're like, I know where you got that from. You know what I mean? Like, not like he's copying him, but he was under Tom forever.
Sure.
Just like us. And you'll see moments in Michaud where it's like, that is exactly what Tom Curley would have said. Maybe he would have said a little more anger,
right?
but like that's exactly what he would have said, And so like it's still cool to see Michaud, a guy that was around him so much,
Did Curley ever take it too far, in your opinion, or in the opinion of others, maybe that you've spoken with, that he's just gotten a little too hot for just?
I have heard like stories about him, but with me, no, I don't think so. I mean, like you said, it's a different world. Now, and
right.
I mean, I had a piece of the old world, when I was a kid and growing up down there and everything like that, and just that was the culture then, know. And if Tom Curley would have came over and screamed in my face when he walked away, I would have still respected him just as much, just because that's him. You know what I mean? That's Tom Curley, and I wouldn't have let it bother me. I mean, he did say, some things to me one time that, are between me, him, and his Volvo.
Yeah.
And it bothered me, but he said it to make me better. Like I truly believe that he knew how much respect kids my age that had been there had for him, and he knew how much of an impact he could have on us.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was tough love, I needed to be woken up,
But for you to say that at 26 years old, I mean, I certainly wasn't mature enough at 26 to think that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think at the time I was, at the time it hurt my feelings, because it's a guy you have a lot of respect for. And was I mad at him for a few weeks? Oh, yeah. Super. But every time I saw him, it was like, Tom, how are you? Because he's that guy,
father figure.
Yeah, I mean, and he definitely, when I talked to him, like I said, I mean, he said a couple of things, and I'm like, yikes, I'm like, ooh, that one hurt, or whatever. But it was a very key moment in my life where he could influence me, and not in a bad way,
right.
Like I was, like I said, I was in a weird spot for a little while in my teens. I think a lot of us go through it.
Sure, of course.
Where I was just kind of a shithead. And, he woke me up, and it took a guy like him to do it, just a guy that's not your family, but a guy you respect, just like I said, just like a grandfather, because of how long he's been around and the wisdom that he has. So at the time I thought, man, I cannot believe that dude just said that to me.
Yeah.
But every time I've thought back about that conversation, which I have thought about a lot of times, I'm like, I came a long ways from it. I learned from it. And I was super mad in the moment, but he wasn't doing it to hurt my feelings, He was just, he was trying to teach me something.
And these are going to be amazing things that someday you'll be able to share with your own children, if you have any.
Yeah.
This is great stuff.
Yeah.
It's great stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if you had a little boy or a little girl, 3, 4, 5 years old, 6 years old, and they look up at you and they say, Daddy, what's the greatest race that you've ever won? What's the one that you remember more than anything?
That I've ever won?
The number one, your most favorite checkered flag. What are you going to say?
That's a great question.
One that stands out.
Jesus. What are you doing? Hitting me with
Wow,
this,
just
this
asking you.
deep stuff. I've won. Let's see. Well, I won the fall brawl, and then then I hit the wall doing the burnout, and and what I always say to myself when someone makes a comment to me about it, they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember that." I was like, "Yeah, you remember the burnout, but you don't remember the ass kicking." Okay, and we did. But that win to me that day wasn't as special just because it was at Riverside Speedway, and I mean, I love to win, but Riverside's not Thunder Road, and so it doesn't hold as much weight, I guess. I mean, it was a big win. It was my biggest win, but I think probably the one, I guess, I mean, I was at Riverside, but not because it was Riverside is why it sticks with me, is I won the first time me and my dad ever raced together. So we were supposed to race together, and something happened on like lap 3 or 4, and I crashed. So I didn't count that one. Mm-hmm. Well, the first time we ever fully raced together, I won.
Do you think Dad counts that one?
Oh, I bet he does.
Go ahead.
And I won the race, and I just remember thinking, I was like, my hero is out here, like all my life, my dad has been my hero in more than just racing, but especially in racing, like he's my racing hero, and he's out here, and I won.
Yeah.
And it's not like, it wasn't like bragging rights, because I'm not going to brag to my dad, you know what I mean?
Right.
I wouldn't rag on him about something like that, but I do just remember, I mean, we were fast, and we killed the whole field, and he finished 4th maybe, or 5th or 4th or 5th. And that one probably is one of the most, special ones, because he was in the field. Yeah. But no doubt, and I'm sorry, I'm going a little tangent here.
No.
The real one that I'll tell him about is the first one at Thunder Road, because it's so hard. I mean, and I don't think people understand it. It is so hard to win there.
Late model win?
Yes. Okay. Late model. Yeah, first late model win, because that's the top, those are the best guys, they're the best. You've been going there your whole life to win there. Like when you're racing a go-kart, you're going and watching on Thursdays, and you're like, I'm going to win in a late model someday, and like, that's your peak almost, like when you're young and you're coming up through, you're like, that's gotta be the best. And the feeling that I finally had that day, and like I said, that's definitely the one, is just such a sigh of relief, but like overwhelming excitement at the same time, because just such a historic racetrack that I'd been at for so long, and like this is the best of the best guys. This is the top division around. This is the American Canadian Tour late models, and I was 19 or 20 when I won. I've been working to win that race for 13 years. If you really think about it, you start at 7, and that's what you're working towards. Sure. So my dad being in the field at Riverside was cool, but because it's at Riverside, and I'm not going to talk about them. And the Thunder Road one, no doubt. I mean, we started on the front row, which we'd had a rough year, so our handicap helped us, but we won the race. We led all 50 laps. It was green. It never had a caution. Tyler Cahoon was breathing down the neck the whole time. Steven was there. Steven ended up finishing 3rd in the race, and Corliss finished 4th. And just the excitement from my dad, I remember seeing a picture afterwards where I was standing on the roof, and my dad had he was in the background, and he just had his arms crossed, and he was just like looking up at me, and it was like he was just kind of taking in the moment. Yeah. Like he wasn't clapping. Everyone else is clapping, and it's not because he's not proud of me or happy that we just won that race, but I have the picture on my phone. Like, I'm up there, and he's just standing there, like, looking up, probably thinking, like, holy shit.
He was absorbing.
Yeah, and, it was just probably crazy for him, too, because of where, we started and how much we have done and everything. So, because of the spot that Thunder Road holds in my life, it has to be that first one at Thunder Road.
And what race was that?
Cody Chevrolet night. It was just a 50 lapper, and like I said, we started outside pole, I think, and we had a good enough car to win the race, and we finally pulled it off. And it was, like I said, it was it was a crazy night. With like 2 to go, I remember thinking, I was like, all right, it's gonna happen, like we're gonna win this race. But I mean, Tyler Cahoon was, right there. I was he was right on us, and I remember coming to get the white, and Dad never stopped talking on the radio the whole last lap. He just hold the button. He's like, "Come on, bud, bring it home, keep it down. We're gonna win it, And
My God.
He finally stopped talking when we were going into turn 3, and I remember just pushing the button coming off of 4, and I just lost my mind. It's just like I said, 13 years. You've been not trying to do it because you obviously haven't been running late model that long, but you started building when you were 7 for that race, for that moment in time to win that race at Thunder Road. And it's got to be the best one. I've won bigger races, like the Fall Brawl was big. It was a big race to win, but it doesn't hold as big of a spot in my heart as the first late model win. Like in my home office, it's kind of set up like this. And in one corner, I put a shelf in for the Fall Brawl trophy, and then in the other corner, I put in a shelf for the first late model win trophy. And if I had to give one of them up, I'd give that Fall Brawl win up to have that Thunder Road win any day. Just because of what Thunder Road means to me and my family. So
Governor's Cup coming up this July.
Yep.
Have you won one?
Close. We came real close. That was probably my favorite race that I didn't win. 2 years ago, me and Corliss, we were pretty much in a league of our own when that race started. We were both really fast, and we were way ahead of the field, and we were just having a race amongst ourselves pretty much. And we spent probably 80 laps that race side by side for the lead. He'd have the lead, I'd have the lead, and just ended up not having enough at the end, and I didn't end up winning, and he did. And I've came close to winning that one. I think definitely twice. One other time we finished 3rd, and Bobby Therian passed me with like 17 to go for the lead, and Trampus had got fresh tires. He passed me at the end, and we finished 3rd, and then we ended up finishing, I think, 4th or 5th that day with Jason.
Yeah.
We got really tight with like 30 to go.
We got a request for Bobby to come on the show.
Bobby Therian?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that'd be pretty easy. He's a pretty mellow guy, pretty
Is
cool
he?
guy. Yeah,
All right.
I bet he'd do it.
Well, if you talk with him before we do, put a bug in his ear.
Yeah. You know who you should have on this show? He would never come on the show because he wouldn't do something like podcast or talk, but people would love it. Like Pete Dudo. If Pete Dudo came on the show, he's like, he doesn't drive, but he owns Bobby's car, and he works on Phil's car, and he's just been around forever. I bet you would get so many views if Pete Dudo would come on this show. I've got to go there actually after. I'll ask him because I think I don't know what he would say, but it would be insane if he came on the show. I would skip work to watch it.
We'll throw a mug at him and maybe a hat or something.
He'd be a great guest. He would be awkward, no doubt, but he'd be a good guest.
Awkward's good though.
Yeah, for sure.
If anybody knows Pete, reach out to him and give him a heads up that we're going to be.
How many people did we get watching today? Did we do all right?
Well, Raylene knows. Raylene knows.
Good deal. We like
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
Good thing we got the hair
Becky's
and
saying
makeup
absolutely get Pete on, so we will. What about the Milk Bowl? Have you won?
done. No. I won the pole there, and
Okay.
I set the track record, and then Nick broke it last year.
That bastard.
Yeah, well, good guy to do it.
Yeah.
I remember I was thinking, I was really bummed that obviously we lost it, but Nick Sweet is probably right up there as the greatest of all time at Thunder Road. So it's like if you have a guy like that breaking it, it's all right.
Yeah.
It made sense for Nick Sweet to have it.
Yeah.
And he won the Milk Bowl last year. And
Humble dude too.
yeah, wicked down to earth guy, and
Yeah.
he's a really great race car driver. And he's definitely, like I said, he's up there with one of the best to ever do it at Thunder Road, in my opinion. There's quite a few of them that are up there, but he's definitely near the top of it.
Is there a race that Marcel Gravel quietly, personally, between he and himself, fantasizes about winning more than any other?
That one, the Milk Bowl.
The Milk Bowl.
100%.
You want to kiss the cow.
Yeah. I've been asked it a couple times. I hope I'm not wavering because I like to give consistent answers, but I would love to win the Milk Bowl like over any race there is. Like, I mean, it's the big, it's the big one. It's what you grow up your whole life, and you just working all summer long to get ready for the Melt Bowl. I mean, you race all summer to race, obviously,
Sure.
and you want to win the track championship and everything like that. But when October rolls around, or the end of September rolls around, when you walk in there, it's business. Like you are there to do a job, and that is to go and
Get some
as hard as
checkers.
you can and get that big check and kiss the cow.
Yeah.
And that race brings a nervous excitement to me like nothing else. Like
Really?
yeah, 100%. Like I take the week off every year, the week of the Melt Bowl off, because
Just get in your groove.
I couldn't work. I'm too into it.
Wow.
So like I normally take the whole week off, and normally it lines up with sometimes it lines up with bow hunting, archery hunting.
Yeah.
And so I normally spend a couple days doing that, and then like the 3 or 4 days before the Melt Bowl, I just work on the race car, and we normally leave to go to the racetrack on Thursday, so it makes it a shorter week for us. But it brings a feeling like you don't get on a Thursday night or anything like that. It's just different. When you walk in the pits, you can feel it. It's just different. There's
Wow.
fog in the air. It's cold,
Yeah.
but it's gonna get
There's a smell. in the
warmed
air.
up fat. No, and it's
Yeah.
for real. Like
Sure.
when you're walking in there, it's just different. Like I normally walk to the trailer anyway. Like my guys will drive the car and the trailer and truck in and everything, and I walk in. But Melt Bowl morning, like Saturday morning, I want to walk in the pits. I want to walk through the gate and just feel the change. When you walk behind the gate and know like what kind of a weekend is ahead, and it's crazy. So I don't think it's a secret. That's the one I want.
Now you're 26. Do you have conversations with yourself or it's Megan, right?
Yep.
Or with Megan about how much longer you're going to be doing this foolishness?
No, not really. I think it would be so cool to, and maybe it wouldn't happen. I don't know, but I know how much I idolized my dad, when I was a kid and watching him race and being around it and being around all the guys and everything like that. And I would love to feel that myself with my own kids, like not in a selfish way, because it's not that like that, but I just can't imagine what it must have been like for my dad to have somebody so interested in what, he's doing, and that always wanted to be around, and stuff like that. So I hope I do it for a while. I would like to take the route that my dad took, and do it till my kids are, when they're running go-karts or something, if they race. Who knows? Maybe they don't race. Maybe they play soccer and stuff like that, and that's cool. I'm a competitive guy, so I'll be there.
Yeah, it sounds like you're going to support
you got
whatever
to.
they would
Right.
want to do.
Yeah. So
Just as a good
I
dad.
hope that I can have them race, obviously, or at least one. If I had 2 kids, I hope one of them races. And
Yeah.
maybe the other one does all the regular sports, but have them be there, see what it's all about, see if that's something they want to do.
Right.
I need to do it long enough so they can know if it's something that
Right.
they want to do, and then start doing it with them, like my dad's doing it with
Yeah.
me, and maybe me and my dad will do it with just them, and I'll stop racing and
Right.
we'll go on with their career.
Well, Lily's getting ready to get up to the motocross track up in Derby.
Oh, really?
Um,
That's wild.
I can't remember the name of it right now. It doesn't matter.
It'll come to you.
She'll be up there this spring. So in the backyard at my house, I've got a couple of different. I got a yellow flag.
Yep.
I got a green flag.
Yeah.
I got a red flag, and I got the checkers.
Nice.
So if you ever drive by my house and you see some short, fat fool out in the yard waving flags around, it's
because Lily's racing.
It's me. It's me.
It's you.
Just to show her, all right, slow down.
Yeah.
Well,
You're
whatever.
doing the right thing.
Whatever. Be familiar with those flags.
100%.
I could see you doing the same thing, man. If you have a kid.
Yeah, I
Same thing.
would love. I know that I would like to have kids because of the competitiveness,
Yeah.
that I have, and like I would love to see it in a smaller version of myself,
Right.
I guess. And like I coach youth sports, like I coach 5th, 6th grade basketball.
You do.
Yep, at Wolcott Elementary. I've done it for a couple years now,
Wow.
and like I see the kids. How much fun they have, and I could only imagine if one of those kids was my kid,
Sure, right.
or something like that. And
And even if your kid wants nothing to do with it,
Right.
at least show them how to change a flat
yeah,
or
no,
change the oil in the
100%.
car.
I think my dad has told me 1,000 times, if I would have wanted to be anything, he would have supported it just like he supports the
There you go.
racing. So if the kid
There you
wants
go.
to be a soccer player, they're gonna have to look to Megan because I suck at that. But if they want to do whatever, I hope they want to race. I hope they do. But we'll see, I guess.
Well, listen, we're going to work on this. We're going to chip away at this list here. Stephen Donahue tomorrow, possibly with his dad.
Double Donahue.
I may have to medicate myself. We're going to have fun with that.
Oh yeah.
Either way,
they're a fun bunch.
Donahue's been in here one time. We even had a sister in here.
Oh, Steven, isn't she like a really good basketball player or something?
Horse barrel racing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Whatever the hell that's called.
Gotcha.
Barrel racing. Amazing. She's
I couldn't get on
Big
a horse.
shot.
Yeah.
yeah.
Steven needs to stay away from the horses.
Oh my God! Please.
He'd be wild on.
Well,
one
it doesn't
of
have
those
a
too.
carburetor.
Yeah.
Nick Sweet, Matt Smith will reach out to him, get him back in here, but hopefully Tyler Cahoon and Jason Corliss too. It'd be great to get him in.
Yeah,
Nick,
I mean, and it's that time of year, where people are starting to think about the road and
oh yeah,
all that sort of stuff. So
big time.
It'd be good for you and it'd be good for them. It's
Yeah.
cool to come to just talk about racing,
Sure, of course.
and all that we got going on. So I was trying to think if there's any Tiger guys or anything. That
Yeah,
I know.
any or Warriors. You got any favorite Warrior drivers?
Any favorite? I don't know. They're all fun to watch.
Yeah.
They're psychos. Those guys.
Oh, yeah,
they're
of course.
complete nutcases. Like we watch those races, and it's like you guys are freaks.
Yeah.
Complete freaks. But they're having the time of their life.
Oh,
out
of course they are.
there. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I think about it all the time. I'm like, look how much fun these guys are having, and here we all are taking ourselves way too serious.
Yeah. You've seen Pork. You've seen.
I like the Sean McCarthy guy because he's got a good number.
Yeah.
I like
McCarthy's.
that.
Yeah.
He
and
used to be 86, I think.
Team
Yeah.
Bush.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
They all have a good time.
What a pit crew.
Oh,
And the whole pit crew
pits.
goes. The whole pit crew fits perfectly right in a cooler,
Yeah.
right there. Every member of them.
Oh, I wonder. You should write this one down. I bet they'd bring him, and it'd be good for him too. Caden Fisher. He would be a good one. Very well liked kid, super talented kid too. He
Wait
just
a
won.
We talked. Raylene and I were talking about him last summer.
Yeah.
He was like
He won the championship.
smashing it.
Yeah, he won the street stock championship, and
Yeah.
then he's gonna run Tiger cars this year. He's like this tall. and-
Yeah.
But I mean, wicked cool kid. Like I know his dad Jamie a little. I raced with Jamie a little, and Jamie's a little bit more. I don't want to say quiet because Caden's quiet too. But I didn't really talk to Jamie that much. But I watched Caden race, and I was like, this kid's the real deal. Like, and Rashad said that to me too one time. He said, "You ever watch the Fisher kid?"
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. I was like, the kid don't mess around. He's like, they're doing a good job with him. He's
Wow.
really good. So I pay attention. He's one of my favorite ones to watch in the street stocks. And my brother has a street stock now, and so I'm gonna have to pull for Kyle in the street stocks, but I'll be pulling for Caden in the Tiger.
Kyle.
Yep,
Kyle's your brother.
my brother Kyle. Yeah.
What number?
Oh, he's 11 last year, but he was always 98. He changed to 11 because it was my dad's favorite number when he started.
All right.
So, yeah, I would. Kyle'd come do this. He might not be like super into the racing, like as far as I am
Yeah.
or anything like that.
You
But
come
he
in with
does
him.
it. He does it casually.
Yeah.
Like he has a good time with it. I'll ask him.
Put him on behind the visor.
Yeah. Oh man, he might ruin my podcast. Him and his foul mouth. He'd fit in good with you. You guys could really get going.
Bro, we're always. I mean, honestly, we're always ready for you. I don't give a damn when you want to come in here. Middle of the season, I don't care.
I like coming.
Just
I like
get
coming.
your ass in here anytime
know.
you want
I
to.
know
I mean,
how it
you got a great rate. You get a win, whatever.
Yeah.
You want to clear something
Bring
up.
the trophy.
Bring it. Get in here. Bring it in here. And
Yeah.
and bring it. What is it? Walker Fisher.
Walker Fitch.
Fitch.
Yeah,
Walker
he'll be
Fitch.
doing some stuff.
Damn,
next
that
year.
kid, man. That was a fun podcast when we had him in
Yeah.
here.
I'm sure as he gets older too, he'll open up a little more. Quiet kid, never done something like this before.
Yeah.
It was good for him.
It was good for
He
him.
had a good time.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
Yeah, definitely.
mom, dad, and your girl. I mean, you guys, you got a good pit crew.
Got a pretty good thing going for myself.
Yes,
Definitely.
you do.
And I mean, they'll watch it. So I mean, testament to my guys too. I have a really good crew with Aiden, Alan, Joe, everybody that works on the car. Dad, myself, and then Mom and Meg supporting it. And my cousin Tia, she comes and watches because she dates Joe.
Yeah.
And Joe's daughters normally come, and we have a pretty good time. And they're all very supportive of me. And Megan supporting how much I'm going to be working on the race car here for the next little while, and Mom for letting Dad out there with me.
Would you suck without him?
I wouldn't do it without him. You know what I mean? Like somebody asked, I was just talking to Nick about that actually at his shop, and he was like, imagine, doing it without your dad. And I was like, I don't have to imagine it because when Dad's done, I'll just be done.
Wow.
I like racing, and obviously I don't do it for my dad.
Sure.
But I don't have any interest to go without him.
Interesting.
He's missed me race one time because of like a rain out or something.
Yeah.
And he was flying out to Vegas or coming back from Vegas, one or the other.
Yeah.
And he missed one of my races, and one of the other time, no, that's what happened. He went to see my brother, and then he flew back from Vegas like a day early to make it to a race. So, no, I mean, I'm not interested, It's when he's done, we'll sell it all, and we'll move on. We'll start fishing, deer hunting. More and more.
And you had a few states this year doing a little bit of hunting.
Yes,
right?
yeah. We went to I've been to Mass with my bow. Liked going down there. Cool. We hunted here, and then we took a little family trip, just us guys, me, my grandfather, my dad, and my brother. And my brother shot a really big 10-pointer.
Wow.
Second to last day we were there. Yeah, I passed on a couple of smaller deer, just because you drive 16 hours. You're not going out there to shoot a 4-pointer or whatever.
Right.
And I passed on a couple of them. My dad saw a really big one that he kind of messed it up for himself a little bit. Not that he did anything super wrong, but he didn't get it. And Kyle got it. It was a really nice deer. So
wow.
We're planning on going back there, and I think I'm going to hit Kentucky this year.
Wow.
Kentucky early September.
Nice.
Velvet whitetail hunt.
Wow.
I think is my plan. Yeah, right now. So we'll see how the racing lines up, because obviously it comes after that, but we'll see.
Well, again, if you have any time during the season to catch your breath, you got an ounce of energy left in you, get in here, and we'd love to talk about how the season's going, especially mid-season, if we can. If we can.
You always can reach out or whatever. I'll come down.
Or we'll throw you on by telephone as you're
We've
sitting
done
on the
that.
couch.
We did Zoom one time.
Yeah, we did.
You got me up early for that.
Yeah.
I was like up at like 7:30 on my day off.
Yes.
Like only for JD Green.
When the hell did we do that? That was a long time ago.
Yeah,
right?
It was on a race day. It was on a Thursday. I came on and did that on Zoom.
Oh my God! I can't believe.
I said, this guy.
What the hell was I doing?
I had to drink my coffee real fast.
God.
But yeah.
You gonna get over to ACT while you're here?
I don't know. I was trying to think if I needed anything there. I think all my forms are up to date.
Yeah.
I don't know if Tina's there. See her
Tina
smiling
lives
face.
there.
Oh,
Tina
she
lives
does.
there.
She does. She does. Mashad's in and out, I'm sure, but Tina lives there.
Well,
for
tell
sure.
everybody I said hello if you do go over there.
Right.
And get Nick in here, would you?
Yeah. I'd be like, Nick, listen up. If we're gonna be having this goat conversation with you, you got to go on the podcast.
Has to.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. But
Nick Sweet, the goat. Oh boy.
up there.
Yeah.
Definitely up there.
Yes.
On the if you had to build a Mount Rushmore of Thunder Road drivers or whatever, you got to put Nick on it for sure.
Well, make sure you tell
near
him
the
that.
front.
Tell him that we're talking smack about him.
Yeah.
He'll-
And before I go, I gotta give a shout out to my sponsors that I know
Please.
this seriously though, and I've told you this before. This is great for us.
Yeah.
People see this. Plenty of people see the show.
Right.
You got to use it to your advantage to come on
course.
these things. So obviously, first and foremost, Pete's
Here I am thinking it's only Pete's. Shame on me, my God.
No,
The
it's
hell's
all right.
wrong
It's
with
all
me?
right. Pete's Equipment Sales and Rentals, Jason. Big year coming up for us. Got a lot tied up into it. So we need to go out there and perform this year. We're gonna. But so obviously, huge shout out to Jason and everybody at Pete's. Doing a awesome job there. And then I got. I just came from the meeting with him for Vermont Door Company. Nathan, he's been a longtime supporter of mine. So thanks to him for coming back on this year. We got Kip Stockwell is going to be sponsoring me this year with Stockwell's Garage, so he's coming back on. Trying to think of who else we got. Oh, we got DBI, Donald Blake Incorporated. They're in Morrisville. They're going to be coming back on with us this year. And we got a couple of other, sponsors that just never seem to stop doing it. I got Jim Parody Trucking, Clausen's Crane Service, and New England Auto Glass. They're a longtime supporter of mine also. So shout out to all of them, and hopefully we have a couple more, get a couple more on there before the year starts. So we'll see.
Bro, that's so impressive right there.
Yeah.
I love it.
And if I am on the big screen at Pete's, I hope they get back to work and start selling some tractors. We got race tires to buy. We need to sell those tractors.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah, thank you for having me.